Hello guys, today I'm going to show you how to use the new generative fill inside of Photoshop. The first step in using the new generative fill is to make sure that you have it properly installed. To do this, you need to install the Photoshop beta, which can be accessed through the Creative Cloud, and going underneath Beta Apps and then installing the Photoshop beta. Once it's installed, you should be able to open it up and put in any image you'd like. And one of the good features that you can use with the new generative fill is expanding images. You can do this by going to the crop tool up on the left and changing the canvas size. Now, due to the generative fill still being in its beta, it is very picky and certain things will work better than others. For example, the size of your canvas will determine on how well it will generate the image. And Photoshop is limited to how big of an area that it can generate at once. So usually I like to start by expanding it out in the horizontal direction. You can do this on both sides at the same time by holding down the Alt key, and it will scale it out evenly on both sides. So I'm just going to scale that out to the side like that, and there we go. Now, using the square marquee tool up here, select the white area, and you want to make sure that you have selected a little bit of the image that you are wanting to extend. And then by holding shift, we can do that on the other side as well, like that. And then at the bottom you should have this bar pop up, and generative fill will be an option. If this does not show up for you, you can come underneath window at the top and then turn on the contextual taskbar. Once you've made your selection, come underneath to generative fill and then click generate. There is no need to add a prompt at the moment because it's just going to use the AI to extend it based off of the image that's already there. And as you can see, Photoshop has done an amazing job at extending out the image. Now it's going to give you 3 different variations of the image. So as you can see, we've got 3 different variations for this one. For this tutorial, I'm just going to pick number 2. And then what we're going to do, we're going to further extend the image up a bit more so we can get some of the sky. And we're going to do the same thing as we did before, except this time I'm just going to skip the loading time just to make it a bit easier for you guys to follow along. As you can see, Photoshop has given us 3 more variations for this image. Now, if you do not like any of the variations that Photoshop has generated for you, you can simply just click generate again, and it's going to regenerate the image that you want and give you another 3 variations. As you can see, we've got 3 more prompts, making 6 variations. You can still access the other 3 if you would like to. But for this one, I'm just going to stick with... which one? I'm going to go with this one right here. Now, I'm just going to extend out the bottom a bit more. But for this one, I'm going to add a prompt to this one. So go underneath generative fill, and in order to get a good generation, you're going to need to use specific words. So instead of just putting lake or shoreline or anything like that, you have to be specific with what you want. So for this one, I'm going to put a rocky lakefront, and then it's going to generate based off the prompt you put in there. As you can see, I've been given 3 more prompts. For this one, I'm going to stick with this one. So as you can see, from the original image that we had, this is what our original image was, and from the generative fill feature, we were able to make an image look like this, purely using generative fill to expand our canvas size and adding and filling in the gaps needed for it. One of the other main features of the generative fill is adding objects or features into your photos. for this one, I'm going to add a wooden canoe sitting on the beach front here, using the lasso tool, putting in a rough selection of the object that we want to put in there, making sure that we select everything, and then clicking Generative Fill and then typing in the prompt that I want. So for this one, I'm going to type in wooden boat. And there we go. So we've been given 3 different types of wooden boats, and I'm going to go with this one right here, and I'm going to add just a little wooden log cabin on the beach, on the shoreline here. So I'm just going to make a rough selection of the area that I want it to be in. Doesn't have to be perfect. And then I'm going to type in my prompt, log cabin. And then we've been given 3 different prompts. Don't really like any of the prompts it's given me, so I'm going to click generate again, so regenerate the images. And there we go. Alright, for this one, I'm just going to stick with this one here. I like the look of it, but I don't necessarily like the bottom. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to select the bottom part that I don't like, and then just select it all, and then just click generate. I'm not going to put a prompt in, and I'm just going to see what Photoshop gives us. Alright. I like that one there because it's filled in the rest of the hill here. And so this image does a pretty good job at making a image from such a small one, but there's, as you can see here, there are some imperfections in the scene. So I'm just gonna select over this area and then just gonna generate a new thing for that. Okay, seems to have fixed the problem that we were having there. I'm gonna go with the first prompt here. And as you can see, using purely the AI generated fill feature inside of Photoshop, we were able to extend our image from just this image right here to having a full image like this one. Now, one of the features inside of Photoshop's generative fill, you are able to add features to someone's face. But if I select the eye area of this man here and I want to add some glasses to him, it's not going to do a very good job at the eyes, because essentially it's generating a new set of eyes for this person, and it won't look quite right in comparison to the original picture. As you can see, it's generated some new pair of eyes for this. So actually, I'm going to change my prompt to clear glasses, so that way I get a clear pair. That's a bit better. Add a nice pair of glasses to that one. So this one here, I'm going to stick with this one here. So as you can see, the glasses that the AI has generated aren't the same as to what was originally on the image. To get around this and essentially replace the eyes that were generated by the AI, you come over to the bottom here. Make that a bit bigger. You come down to the bottom here, and you can see that every time that you generate a new thing to your image, it's going to make a new layer with this icon here, which symbolizes that it's a generative fit layer. And every layer that is generated by the AI will also give you a layer mask. So essentially what you can do is, if you come over to the brush on the left, or if you click B on your keyboard, and then using the square brackets to change the size of the brush, using the brush you can essentially mask out the generative fill eyes, so then replace them with the original eyes. So I've done this using the black color, which will remove certain parts of your mask to then replace the eyes. Just a quick note for anyone using this, as it's still in its beta, it's going to be very subjective into what it can and can't generate. There are obviously some community guidelines that it has to follow that Adobe have set. And the time it takes to generate your image is going to depend on your internet connection. The reason it's going to take so long if you've got a slow internet connection is because the AI is run via the cloud and generates your image via the cloud. I hope this helps you guys, and I'll see you guys in my next tutorial.